All right, Mr. Mathur, you spoke about inflation in the inflection point. If you could tell us more about it.
Yeah, I think sometimes we believe that we are already going through the technology revolution because there's so much of evolution that's happened in the last few years. But we believe that that inflection point has not come yet. Like if you go back and look at the industrial revolution, it took decades after the invention of steam engine for the industrial revolution to happen. Similarly, we believe that the digital engines are just about firing or beginning to fire now. It will take some time for the inflection point to come. And the reason we believe that it's kind of coming together because there are a lot of key building blocks for that technology revolution to start happening. We can see those pieces that are coming together and will create the transformation for society and economy like the steam engines did.
All right. Well, with so much happening in India, where do you see the Indian entrepreneurs taking into concern the Indian context? Unlike other countries where in Europe and US we have social entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship having a social inclination. Here in India we have more hype on the e-commerce and e-tailing platform. So what's the future for entrepreneurs?
I think it's a great future. I think India stands out as being the technologist. We are building that startup environment, that ecosystem is getting built. It will take a few years, but what we are beginning to see with the emergence of e-commerce, I think there's clearly a benefit for the consumer. They get convenience and better value. So we believe a lot of businesses will get transited into e-commerce space. And I think that's a huge lot of potential for the startups. You could think of every business model that is today offline going digital. And just that is a huge potential for entrepreneurs in India.
Do you think this particular fashion of entrepreneurship and e-commerce, e-retail would also be able to help the marginalized communities and the, say, 30 million stray animals? I'm saying this question in context of the Indian demographic being different, unlike the European demographic.
I think, see, technology evolution will touch everyone. I think it may be starting at the top, but eventually this will touch everyone. It could be telemedicine. It could be a poor person living in rural India wanting to get medical help. Just the fact that he has a mobile phone today, he will be able to access that help. In the past, he wouldn't have got it. So I think digital and the technology revolution is going to impact just about everybody. I would say, let's say a middle to lower strata in rural India, which does not have access to so many things, will start getting access because those things are available in e-commerce. Yeah, I mean, there would be things that they can afford and then things that they can't, but the ones that they can afford today are not available for them. Suddenly in this ecosystem, it becomes available for them. So I think it'll only help just about every community.
All right. If you could share with us a few of the latest projects of Nielsen.
Yeah, so for us, this transformation is exciting as well. We are looking at digitizing everything that we do, starting from basic things like getting our retail information, doing consumer interviews, doing it more and more in a digital way. We are interviewing through mobile phones. We are getting POS or point of sale data that is electronic more and more. And on the other side, we're trying to deliver all of this in real time to our clients through various tools. So I think digital will have an impact on virtually every company. The question that one has to ask is, how does it impact your company?
Right. You spoke about virtual reality. So how real would the virtual reality be, and what is the level of this innovation?
It is still early stages, but I would say that it's pretty much picking up very rapidly. Oculus Rift available now commercially. You could put it on and just imagine that world of 3D. I've seen some videos, haven't tried it myself. I did try Google Glass. I think that was another one where a lot of emergencies happened. So I think this is virtual reality is real. I think that's where it is right now.
All right. If you could talk a little about your association with this event. How do you associate yourself, and what would be the takeaways for the delegates?
Yeah, I think it's great that Businessworld actually invited us to come in association with them to come up with the Marketing Whitebook. We were able to share some of the content that we have as Nielsen for various sectors, and also our framework of path to performance, which is essentially in 4 areas. So consumerization, innovation, marketing effectiveness, and sales effectiveness. And so many clients rallied around this book. It's a wonderful book. It's got practical, live examples of what marketers go through. And like I said, starts with Harish Manwani and ends with Harish Bhatt. It's got end-to-end about connected consumer.
All right. Lastly, few do's and don'ts for existing marketeers and aspiring marketeers.
Yeah, I think the do's are really around the concept of DASH, which is, go digital, be analytical, do it with speed, and give heed to the consumers. There are a lot of don'ts, which I guess over a period of time, each marketer will have to look at their business and start saying, okay, this is what I used to do, but that is not what I'm going to do in the future. So the fact that you were successful with what you were doing and that brought your company to where you are, that will not make you successful in the future. I think that mindset is what a marketer needs to have going forward.
All right. What is your expectation, or rather I would say prediction, for India with all the projects we're having right now, like Swachh Bharat, Homes for All by 22, and smart cities? Where does Nielsen fit itself in all of this?
I think there is these are several initiatives. They're just about kicking off. I think each one will have its own impact, but jointly they will have a network effect, which will be huge when they come together and add to the whole. So, right now we are saying, okay, these are just kicking off, these are individual projects, but few years down the line, when you see the integrated whole, it'll be a big impact on the consumer. Imagine an initiative like Digital India. When billion consumers are digital, imagine what you can do and the power of that. You could do Swachh campaign, you could do smart cities, all of that so quickly because the consumer is already digital. So I think there is a huge potential with all these projects coming together. We as Nielsen have been in India for almost 50 years, and we will make our contribution in digitizing India and adding value to the consumers' lives and the way they live, work, play, and learn.
All right. And if you could also tell us a little about Nielsen's corporate social responsibility.
Yeah, so we have a Nielsen Cares unit. We do several themes every month, and then we have one big global event. We call it Nielsen Global Impact Day, which happens in June. Recently happened, where 40,000 associates from around the world go and make an impact to society that day. And then apart from that, we do initiatives every month. My favorite initiative is the one in Bangalore, where we went to an orphanage and we spoke to the students. We did their brain testing, because now we have experts. We have a neurosurgeon on the roll, and we found that there were 15 students that really needed neuro help. We've adopted 5 of them and are going to take care of all their medical situation for the next 5 years, and hope that that's a small contribution in improving lives of orphan students.